Person one loves person two. Guess what? Shenanigans ensue. Person one hates person two. Guess what? Still shenanigans ensue. Person one fake dates person two. Guess what? You guessed it. Shenanigans ensue. Co-host one reports to co-host two. The name of the show? Shenanigans ensue. Yeah. Hello, I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Jane, and welcome to Shenanigans Ensue.
A podcast where what you do last night.
I finished another rom-com. It was good.
Another bodice ripper, you little perv.
I enjoy them for their camp. All true.
Yep, I've never felt more seen.
Owning it. Each episode, we'll watch a rom-com and discuss its merits as a member of the rom-com genre.
We'll cover well-worn classics, hidden gems, and everything in between.
We'll give you our unsolicited opinion on every trope, caper, and flim-flam the film used, or maybe abused.
And of course,
the shenanigans! Shenanigans! Shenanigans!
Oh boy, we have a delightful episode for you today.
Isn't it just?
Yeah, a real sleeper movie.
A real dark horse.
Yeah.
And that movie, of course, is To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Yay!
Aww.
A big favorite of mine, as that came out in cinemas Asian summer, if you recall. I was very excited that summer.
Aww.
Big fan of the mixed race family. Let's go. All of those young ladies are technically slightly different races of Asian.
Yeah.
And it really didn't matter.
No.
See, Hollywood?
See, it can be done. What a delightful movie.
I know. I forget about this movie a lot.
Same.
It's not one that comes to mind when I think of rom-coms.
Yeah.
And yet it manages to thread the needle. It's this interesting combo of very much a rom-com. The plot is driven by the romance.
Yeah.
But it's also tonally 100% a coming-of-age film.
Absolutely. And it's just a really well-made film.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the coming-of-age aspect. It's filmed, it's shot, it's directed like an indie.
It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And I think tonally what's really crucial to this film being so successful is the utter sincerity, which seems to be a theme in the new year.
This season of the pod has been all over the place, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we're finding some sort of common thread.
Not a hint of irony.
No, not one bit. To the point where I think after we watched the movie, you said something to the effect of you want to start doing things in life more sincerely.
Yeah. I hate New Year's resolutions. Not into it.
Same.
But I think that this year, if I were going to come up with anything, it would be to lead with more sincerity and heart in my day-to-day life.
I really love that.
And it feels like something that is actionable.
Realistic.
Yeah. It feels like something that will only make my life better.
Yeah.
And something that's not going to make me feel bad for maybe not being super successful at if that happens. That's what I'm going for this year.
Yeah.
More sincerity, less sarcasm. We'll see.
I mean, sarcasm has its place. It's great.
I'm going for a tonal change in my life. We'll see.
You know, what I think is actually really great about this shift is that it doesn't have to be one or the other. You don't have to forego your sarcasm to be more sincere, you know?
It's not that there's an end result that must be achieved. It is, what does my life look like? And is it better with more sincerity? Let's see.
Who knows?
I really hope so. I think the world has been throwing this lesson at me for a hot minute. I'm going to really accept it and see what happens.
Well, we'll circle back in a year.
Yay, okay, great. We'll talk about it at the end of the year during the Christmas episodes.
Yes.
And I don't know, there's something about these films. Like, what a delight it is to have a film that makes you want to be better.
Aw, true.
This is such a nice story.
It's a very heartwarming film. I felt very cozy after watching it. comforted. It helped that it's now proper autumn here, and so we had our first bit of rain. So that was all contributing to the atmosphere of just feeling a bit snuggly, a bit enveloped.
Oh my gosh.
It's very nice.
On the scale of cheese to fuzzy blankets, this is a fuzzy blanket.
Yes, it is a fuzzy blanket. I needed a fuzzy blanket. Well, I think we should hit that plot synopsis.
So, every time Laura Jean has an overwhelming crush on a boy, she writes a private love letter that she can look back to in secret.
Her world is turned upside down when her younger sister posts those love letters to 5 different boys, including her older sister's ex-boyfriend and the very popular Peter. Shenanigans ensue! Oy, oy, oy. The second-hand embarrassment.
Mortifying. Truly. Sometimes they do these things where people faint in films and it's always over the top and really corny. This is legitimately a faint-worthy moment.
I would absolutely.
The amount of stress hormone that would be flooding your body.
Your cortisol will be sky high.
I would have crawled in a hole and hoped no one ever found me.
They also filmed that really well with the dramatic classical music playing, and we see Laura Jean freeze, and we get the close up on the letter in his hand.
And the sound effects start to womp, 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 womp.
Yes, you can't hear what he's saying. It's so good. I was like, this is so accurate because I would also be fainting.
As an exercise, I think it's a lovely idea. But without the context of the moment in time, like how mortifying.
Oh, no. We cannot iterate more that these were private love letters.
Yeah. And, like, she's not been quietly pining this whole time. Like, please get that right out your head. Oh, God.
So embarrassing. I mean, on paper, pun intended, it is a very good and healthy way of coping with the crush. But the fact that they get out, that's the problem.
Yeah. From the very, very start, the film does this incredible, like, I don't know what this movie is. Is this a Jane Austen novel? Let's be out in a field, flowing dresses.
We're in a period piece.
Golden hour.
Stunning. Love a golden hour.
Love a golden hour. They hit us with that evening golden hour at the end, too.
You know, we need the symmetry. She's daydreaming about falling in love in a field, then she actually falls in love on a lacrosse field.
Oh,
you know, we have
that's my only issue with this film, though, truly.
The lacrosse?
Yeah. I wrote at the bottom of my notes in all caps, not a lacrosse, bro. That's my only problem with the film. It's fine.
I have no reference to lacrosse whatsoever, except movies. I think Mean Girls is my first introduction.
That's very lucky of you.
What's your beef with lacrosse?
I don't necessarily have a beef specifically with lacrosse.
Okay.
There is a direct correlation to lacrosse and... what would the word be? Toxic masculinity with a trajectory toward Harvard.
Oh, that's very niche.
Yeah. It's a very specific type of boy.
Interesting. In terms of the subsection.
Yeah. It's highly specific, but typically doesn't indicate good things.
Oh, interesting. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot with this question.
No. I'm happy to talk about it because it's also extremely irrational for me to, like, be so mad at that. But here we are.
I was like, did a lacrosse boy break your heart? Like, what is the...
It's just become this bizarre cultural touchstone.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a bizarre American cultural touchstone of douchery.
So then what you're actually saying is a very valid sport for Regina George to be playing.
Correct.
That's my takeaway.
It's a very violent sport, actually. So yes. Okay,
great. I'm glad we've established that.
And she was on a trajectory to the Ivies, so yes.
It all checks out.
All because of Golden Hour. All right.
You know, she's a messy bitch. She's been used for good and for evil. Let's hit those tropes, shall we?
Oh my gosh, yes, tropes. We have Jane and Jasmine, favorite, fake dating, and the contract.
Love this trope.
It's so good.
So good. So good.
We also have a love triangle. She's a messy one, too.
Mm-hmm.
We have narration. We've got montages.
Yay!
We have a dramatic chase, light-ish.
Because it doesn't go very far.
We have excellent best friends.
Oh, so good.
We've got a re-meet, cute. And we've got the ever popular high school, popular, unpopular.
Very well-worn trope.
Yes, and still applicable. So,
yeah.
I mean, let's just start at the top because fake dating is so funny.
So cute. That's where I want to start as well.
Okay, great.
I love that we end up in the fake dating by accident because of Laura Jean's impulsive decision to like jump Peter in like a panic.
So like when she is approached by Peter while she's doing laps on the track, all of a sudden she sees her older sister's ex crossing very quickly with a letter in his hand. So in her moment of panic, she jumps on Peter and lands a giant old smooch on him and then gets up and sprints away, which, I mean, given the circumstances, warranted. And I texted Jane, someone call the police, there's been a kiss and run, which I stand by.
As you should. I mean, damn girl. It was a panic move.
That's illegal.
It is.
Yeah, that's a yellow card on the field.
Yeah, it is technically sexual assault if we're getting down to it. You know.
I was like, oh no.
So Peter has just broken up with his girlfriend, Jen, and he is looking for a way to make her jealous. And he comes up with the idea to do the fake dating thing because he points out that it's beneficial to both of them.
It is. And also, Jen is a right prick. So I think everyone needs to get at Jen as much as humanly possible. I feel like if they did anything maybe a little too ham-fistedly is how much of a full-on bee she is.
Yeah, she is. There is no nuance to that character.
No. So many other characters, you find out reasons why they are so awful.
Yeah.
They make them somewhat redeemable, even if what they did is unforgivable.
Mm-hmm.
But Jen is just mad because of Spin the Bottle as a child. And Laura Jean yells it at the end. She's being a psycho.
Yeah. I Spin the Bottle kiss from elementary school.
Like, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
To be that much of a heinous person for something so trivial and for that long.
So uncalled for. Especially to someone who used to be, like, good friends with.
Yeah. The definition of living in someone's head rent-free.
Yes, absolutely. What I like about this fake dating trope as well is that they do the actual contract, which is such a fun sequence.
Right?
Discussing what should go in the contract. It was so funny because we see how different these people are, and I like that they include in the contract as well a movie each that they need to watch together. So Fight Club from Peter and 16 Candles from Laura Jean.
I just like... I feel like that's its own trope. Men wanting women to watch Fight Club is a trope.
Right. And then that we see the contract and we see the differences in their handwriting.
So cute.
And that he insists on the ski trip and they both sign it and then formally shake hands over it. And Laura Jean's put in the contract that they can't kiss each other anymore. Like, it's just such a fun sequence setting this whole thing up.
And I was like, wow, we got so much information. We got so much exposition. And I was like, surely a lot of time in the film has gone by to have given us so much useful info.
Yeah.
And her doing the kiss and running away is at minute 20, and them making the fake contract is by minute 30. Like,
it's
tight.
Amazing. It's so tight. I think it's just very efficiently done.
Efficiency.
Yes, we love efficiency. messy. And how they indicate the passage of time with the banners hung in the school hallways. So we see how the months are going by.
The jumps of all of it are really good. Like, November. Ooh, let's talk about the ski trip. They've gone on the ski trip. She comes back. Christmas decorations. We just did another jump.
Exactly.
Put together very well.
Yeah, just really tight.
Oh, and since we did just kind of brush on it, we may as well move over really quickly to that love triangle, which is developed because of the kiss and the run.
It's like kind of not really two love triangles because Laura Jean had a massive crush on Josh.
Yeah.
Her sister's ex-boyfriend. Peter is implying but not lying with Josh when he drops Laura Jean off.
Yep.
And Josh comes out and he was like, oh, you're taking Laura Jean home? And Peter's like, looks like it. Which, first of all, is sass.
Yes, love that sass.
He couldn't just say yes. And then he's like, how long have you and Laura Jean been hanging out? And Peter's like, not long. But the implication.
Yeah.
But it's true because they haven't been hanging out long.
Yeah. I love that because you're fishing.
Yeah.
Just say it.
Yeah.
Say it to my face.
Exactly. Come right out. Come at me, bro.
Come at me. See, that's lacrosse energy. Come at me, bro. Say it to my face.
I mean, both of them were gearing for a fight.
I know.
Honestly.
You know how I feel about weird male posturing.
Yes.
I think it's hilarious every time.
It's so funny. It's like, I can't take you seriously.
Please stop peacocking.
So funny.
I'm laughing at you, not with you.
Oh, goodness. So we have that, and then we obviously have the Laura Jean, Peter, Jen love triangle going on.
Yeah.
Peter's falling for Laura Jean while being in this fake relationship, but Jen still has a hold on him somehow, and he's like struggling to navigate how to set a boundary with her, it seems like.
Yeah.
So it's all just super, super messy.
I think the implication was even that that's the first person he slept with.
Oh, okay.
Lucas implies it. And we love Lucas.
Oh, Lucas. What a gem.
Yeah.
We love Lucas.
What a fucking doll.
I love that he hands her the letter back when she's run into the toilet, like hyperventilating. Because two of the guys have gotten letters.
And I love that he comes to the correct conclusion.
Yes.
This looks like you wrote it a while ago.
And then he still lets her down gently as well. And he's like, you know I'm gay, right?
She doesn't. But it's okay, girl. Save a little face. Lucas is such a bro that, like, he'll let you save face.
Well, I guess we're kind of talking into best friend territory because
Yes.
we started talking about Lucas a little bit.
Excellent best friends.
But Chris is so great. The interaction with Dr. Covey. She's like, no disrespect. Do what you gotta do. Put food on the table.
And she doesn't even, like, directly accuse him. It's, like, secondary accusation. She's like, I just don't understand what would compel a man to say to themselves, yeah, what I want to do is wake up every day and look at a vajay. And she, like, gets him.
I'm just leaving the room now, Christine.
And he doesn't. He goes and sits on the stairs. That's truly one of my favorite parts in the entire movie, but I'll save it for the shenanigans.
Yes.
This whole movie kind of leads one to the other. The whole little Lucas thing covers another moment, which is the narration throughout.
Very well done. Sometimes in movies, it feels like narration is just stuck in there as a way to get a lot of exposition in there, get a lot of inner world workings of the character. But Laura Jean reads a lot.
A lot.
And she daydreams a lot. So it makes sense that she would be constantly narrating her life as well.
Yeah, and the greatest failing of the book to movie adaptation is typically what lies in the character's mind, right?
Yeah.
Getting that across to the audience is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
So you might as well use the narration.
Exactly. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence got a lot of flack with her portrayal of Katniss Everdeen, but that's because in the books, outwardly, she is portraying a very stoic appearance.
Yeah.
But inside, there's a whole lot going on. But that's very difficult to portray on screen.
Yeah. It's such a problem with book to movie adaptations, and I'm glad that they didn't try to push away from it and just embraced it.
Yeah, it worked really well. I also like that they kept it throughout because sometimes what happens is they dump a whole lot of narrative exposition on you at the top of the movie.
And then we never hear the narrator again, and then you hear them at the end go, the end.
Yes.
And you're like, wait, where were you the last 2 hours?
Where did you come from? It's like a narration jump scare.
Yeah. You again.
It also makes a lot of sense for the character, given that at the start of the movie, she doesn't have many friends.
Yeah.
Like, barely any. So she would also be talking to herself a lot.
Mm-hmm. That was a really fun way of introing it, because we can all be honest, the outfit that she comes to school in slays.
Gorgeous.
And it's so interesting to watch the mean girl be mean over something that makes no sense.
Right. And also, I know in America, folks are really big on the troops, so it was a very weird diss as well, like insulting the military.
Yeah, I guess it was trying to say, like, you're being unladylike, I guess was the dig.
Maybe?
I don't know.
Because she's like, your government-issued boots or whatever.
I want those shoes.
So cute.
Yeah.
Very nice autumn outfit.
I feel like you could go out on a date and kick some ass.
Yeah.
It's both. That's a perfect shoe.
We love a multi-purpose shoe.
Yeah.
Is there anything in tropes you want to still talk about before we move on?
Montages!
Of course.
Yeah, they pepper a few little ones throughout, just like expositionally.
Yeah.
We're given a bunch of fun little moving the plot right along montages. They're not particularly funny, but all of them in this film are particularly useful.
Yes. Montages are always used to show a passage of time, but in this movie specifically, that is almost their sole function.
Correct. Because the passage of time can be funny and only encompass an afternoon, like the emergency shopping montage, or they can literally just be, and now we're at a different time of the school year.
Yeah, exactly. I actually want to talk about the re-meet cute. We've discussed it somewhat briefly, but I think it's really sweet that we see the dreaded spin the bottle where everything went in a downward spiral for Jen and Laura Jean's friendship.
Yeah.
And this is where Laura Jean developed like this massive crush and wrote the letter, and it all comes back around because of this letter.
Because of Kitty.
Yeah, because of Kitty being messy.
Kitty is a comedic genius, by the way.
I love her.
She really is constantly. I know that this is life, and there's also just people in life who do this. I am one of those people. I am the problem. It's me. That when tensions are very high and people are having a serious moment, I feel a compulsive need to cut the tension with some stupid ass comment.
Me too. I can't handle it. I physically cannot handle people being in conflict.
You know, there's like comfortable silences with friends and loved ones.
Yeah.
If I'm sitting in a tense silence, I have about 5 seconds before I'm going to do something real dumb.
I feel you. Even you just describing that kind of silence has like fully activated my need.
I have to say something.
Yes.
What can I do?
What can I do to make it better?
Do I need to jump up and down? Do you want me to start singing a song?
It's something I'm actively working on, to just breathe and sit in the discomfort and be like, it's not my problem. I'm working on it.
Yep. I play that out on stage as much as possible. I make people sit in uncomfortable silences with my lines, but like I can't do it in real life. I'm just sublimating all of these urges.
There's a lot of things that I'm very comfortable doing as an actor that I cannot transplant into my own life. Maybe that's why I became an actor. I don't know.
It's 100% why I became an actor. I tell people that all the time.
I'm just having a revelation here.
You're welcome. I've been doing this for years.
Oh no, I'm not going to pull that thread.
It's okay. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I got you.
All right.
It's like the letters. It's actually a healthy outlet.
Moving on.
I think that maybe because now I feel uncomfortable, I'm going to move to shenanigans.
Let's do it.
So
Shenanigans. Let's do it.
my favorite shenanigan in this entire film is just the presence of the father.
How good is this dorky dad?
Excellent. John Corbett, you just come at a lot of your roles with dorky energy, but you're very grounded.
Yes.
Honestly, you feel like a safe space.
And somehow still like chilled vibes as well.
Love.
And he's just doing his best.
Right.
With these three goals.
Mm-hmm. So the one with the starers is he goes, quote, away. Visually, we watch him go upstairs. The girls are talking. And then then out of nowhere, you hear him say, I wasn't eavesdropping, but number one, he is seated on the bottom 2 stairs. He has been there for a minute. He made himself comfortable.
What are you doing, my guy?
Literally, you were purposefully eavesdropping, 100%. Number one. Number two, he then has maybe 4 sentences. And the ride we go on from encouraging to fatherly love to what the hell now I'm crying, it's so moving.
I had tears in my eyes.
How?
It was so beautiful. And then letting Laura Jean in a little bit.
Yeah, the diner.
Realizing where he did have shortcomings, saying, I've relied on you girls too much. I know that. I'm sorry about that.
The honesty of, I haven't told you enough about your mother because it hurts me. Let me tell you a story. Like,
yeah.
It was all so lovely and gently given. He acknowledged the mistake without beating himself up and making it about him.
Yeah.
And then other funny dad shit, like Peter comes to pick up Laura Jean for the party and he says, you know, the parents are going to be there. I promise I'll have her home at a reasonable hour. And the dad literally just says, no drinking, no drugs, no hands.
Well, showing up his hands just for emphasis.
One of my favorite quotes.
Same. And I love that it's very well-rounded in terms of his approach because he's encouraging Laura Jean to go to this party. She doesn't want to go, but her dad's like, no, go with your friend, go have fun.
I know.
But then also like setting the rules very clearly. It's just so nice.
It was like acknowledging that she's come out of her shell, wanting her to be more like that without being pushy.
Yeah.
No judgment, trusting her. The sarcasm when the daughter is coming in with a bit of attitude and he's like, well, hi, welcome home too. I just brought new life into the world. How'd your day go? It's so funny.
And the whole thing of when he is making food at the beginning of the movie and the sisters are like, oh, I hate it when dad cooks Korean dishes because it's always a disaster.
I forgot.
And Margaret's like, just suck it up and say, tastes just like mom.
And she does. It's so awkward. Kitty too, right? Getting ready to go to school the next day, Laura Jean's a terrible driver, being like, oh, I forgot something. Running upstairs and getting your helmet, girl. Ultimately, you were right. She almost ran Peter over.
Yeah, that is true. But still. And then when she introduces herself to Peter, my name's Catherine, but my friends call me Kitty. You can call me Catherine.
I mean, he deserved that. He
Yes.
literally got in the car and was like, hi, little LJ.
But then when she discovers that Peter is going to be driving them to school every day, then she gives him the kitty privileges.
So good. Do we have any other fun shenanigans with the fam?
Well, just the fact that Kitty is very well-meaning when she upends Laura Jean's life, because at the start of the movie we see the two of them watching Golden Girls.
Oh gosh,
And-
so vicious.
Kitty's like, Laura Jean, I'm 11 and I cancelled plans to hang out with you. Don't you think you need to like find some friends or a boyfriend?
I'm literally holding my
It's
face.
like, damn, Kitty.
I'm so embarrassed.
And when Kitty reveals it, Laura Jean's like, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm glad she told the truth. Honestly, I probably would have died with that secret, but she is braver than me.
Oof, my anxiety would not have allowed me to send those letters out in the first place.
Same. Yeah. There's no way I would ever do that in the first place, but I think that if you've made that choice...
It remains a mystery forever.
Correct.
I also really like when Laura Jean is attempting to clean her room and not
Right.
getting very far.
Yeah.
And then further along toward the end of the movie where she's actually cleaning her room.
Right.
And her family is worried.
She's actually cleaning. Things are bad.
Not just moving stuff around.
That's also extremely relatable. Stress cleaning.
I fully use cleaning to procrastinate.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't want to deal with something. I'll clean and pretend I'm being productive.
Exactly. Look at me, I'm so productive.
Ooh, look at this.
I didn't send the email that I should have sent 2 weeks ago, but look how clean things are.
Look at my extraordinary distraction techniques. Ooh.
Because even in my procrastination, I have to be efficient.
Truly.
I can't just procrastinate by like watching a new series or something.
It's actually a legitimate problem that I have.
Same. I'm like, let me bake. Let me procrasti-bake. Let's do that.
Not the procrasti-bake.
Because it's functional. Look at me.
Wait, Now I'm going to go out of my way to procrasti-bake.
No, don't do it. It's a trap.
It's
Turn back.
It's a trap. Nope, that's actually going on my New Year's resolutions now, too.
No.
More procrasti-baking.
Right. Is there a different shenanigan you want to talk about?
Can we go over the shenanigans of that ski trip? Because I feel like that ski trip is filled with them.
Totally.
So for years, when I go on some sort of sleepaway trip for work or otherwise, if I'm going to be with other people, I bring enough sheet masks for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the film that actually laid that seed into my brain now that I've watched it again.
I will not be surprised by that at all, because the same thing has happened to me. Even if I'm just going to see one friend, I will pop in 2 sheet masks because it's just so delightful.
Yeah. No one has ever done anything other than be very giddy that I brought extra sheet masks. It's always a hit. So I think that that's super fucking fun. And what a delightful movie to have stolen that idea from.
I find it so funny that there's this throwaway line saying, "Where are the chaperones?" And that's just there.
So self-aware.
But it's never addressed. And there's nary a chaperone.
They didn't do any of the things. No tape on the doors.
There's no assigned rooms.
Why are the children out in the hot tub at all?
There's nothing.
You've not rented out this entire hotel. Why are you letting teens wander it?
In all hours of the night.
Yeah, so ridiculous. The one thing that I was real mad at, well, 2 things, right? Jen being a snaky bee.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Laura Jean, don't sleep in makeup.
No.
You know how I feel about this.
Yes.
Don't do that.
You have the sheet masks.
Yes. What did you put the makeup back on for?
Also, I was amazed at how quickly her nightgown dried.
I thought of that too. I was like, what? Did you bring 2 of the same nightgown?
That you in the hot tub in with who knows what else in there. That you're getting into your clean sheets.
Truly, though, if you look at it when she's getting in, it's fully bone dry.
Yeah, totally.
So, like, she packed 2 or found a dryer?
What would make me feel better? Let's go with she packed 2 of the exact same one.
Honestly, I wouldn't be terribly surprised. She seems like the type.
Prepared.
Yeah. And then the insanity of Jen throwing the scrunchie in LJ's face for no reason.
Yeah, that was horrible.
I just can't. Like, she can be as mad as she wants. This is just being manipulative.
It was so uncalled for. But I was also mad at Peter for not getting it back at the party when she took it in the first place.
Yeah, I know that this isn't the best thing to do, but honestly, I would have just snatched it out her hand and like, no, you're done. Like, that's a little aggressive, but...
No, but LJ had told him, don't lose it. This
It's
is
my
my favorite
favorite.
scrunchie. And bro loses it to his ex-girlfriend.
And that was early on, so it's been months. She's been holding on to the scrunchie.
Waiting for a moment to drop it.
Rent-free, girl.
Wild.
Psycho.
Like, Laura Jean shouldn't even be mad. She should just be honored she spends so much time in Jen's head.
Seriously. She is not thinking about Jen at all. She could be using all that energy to become better. And then also just the full-on shenanigans of referring to a late-night makeout in a hot tub as your sex tape for the rest of the film is so
funny.
so dramatic. It's so unnecessary.
But Margot's quick thinking for getting it taken down using child pornography laws.
I mean, well, all you've done is reinforce that it's her sex tape, even though it's not, by doing this. But I love the quote that LJ tells her older sister, like, I needed you and I couldn't talk to you, blah, de blah.
Yeah.
And she said, I know you're only being nice to me because I accidentally made a sex tape and you feel bad.
If you are done with the ski trip stuff, I would like to pivot to Peter trying so hard to let Laura Jean down easy at the beginning of the movie. He goes to her house, like, Peter's here to see you, and Laura Jean says, you didn't see me, and fully dives out of her 2nd-story room,
Correct.
rolls out onto the roof, and crashes into the garden.
She literally, like, bounces off the ground behind the bush because it's a far wide shot. And you just hear her hit the ground, ow, and then start sprinting.
Off to the diner where Peter finds her.
Oh,
and
it took
he's
2 seconds.
Yeah, all of 2 seconds. And he said, your sister said you might be here. He is going about this whole preamble saying he's really flattered but he and Jen just broke up and blah, 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 blah. And Laura Jean is like trying to stop him in his tracks and saying like, it's okay, it was a long time ago. And then Pete's saying, your mouth is saying something, but then your mouth said something completely different back there.
Right.
So I'm confused.
And the only way she gets through to him is saying that there was 5 letters sent total.
Yes.
And he calls her a player, and he's like, I guess I'm not special. And that really just shut it down.
Damn, Covey, you a player.
Yep.
So funny.
So good.
And then he forces her to say who it is because otherwise he can think that she's just making it up.
Right.
Yeah, so he forces her hand.
It's so messy.
It's so messy.
That whole thing kind of doesn't make sense to me in the first place. Like, you guys were friends first, and he's fully a grade younger. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen, but that's so...
Right.
That's so out of the norm.
Mm-hmm. And they've been dating for 2 years.
See?
So they started dating when he was 14 and Margot was 16.
I call a little bit of BS on that part. I don't see it.
Movie shenanigans.
Movie shenanigans.
We need Josh's character to still be around.
Yeah.
For the angst to work.
Yeah, the excuse for the fake date on both sides.
We needed RJ to be incentivized to agree to Peter's plot.
Right?
Peter proposes this contract and RJ says, oh, so you just want to use me? And Peter said, well, technically use my mouth first.
Squaring the circle. Is he a senior and she's a junior?
I don't know.
I feel like I'm more accepting of him being a senior.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he feels like he can step up to a lacrosse bro. He's like, I'm a year older.
Oh, sorry, you were talking about Josh. Yes, I think you're right. I think Josh is a senior.
Yeah.
And Peter and Laura Jean are the same age.
That's fine.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
So then they're just a year apart.
Yeah.
That happens more often.
And honestly, it could be like 4 months apart based on the school year.
Yeah.
Okay, great. We solved it. Okay. Crisis averted. I needed it.
Yeah.
We could move on. I have maybe 2 tiny little throwaways that I also loved.
Okay, let's hit the throwaways.
One of my favorite things is her full on strut
Yes, girl.
at the end
Yes.
to get Peter.
Love that walk.
That was a hell of a runway walk, girl. Please.
The determination.
You better work.
She went to go get her man.
She did, and I felt every step. And then my other favorite thing is at the end, when the other letter, the guy actually shows up and Kitty answers the door.
Yes, that was so funny.
Great playoff. Excellent choice.
Laura Jean!
And the smile on Kitty's face.
It's like the guilty, mischievous smile.
Yeah.
So good.
That's everything I had on my list.
Okay, the last little thing that I have is a twist on the trope we've created, which is the famous girl, put on your shoes. In this movie, we get, girl, take off your shoes.
Girl, do not get in bed with those shoes.
Under the covers.
Subsection C.
Why?
Yeah.
First of all, shoes on bed at all is a no for me. Like, it's just a straight up no.
That's a no for me, dog.
It drives me nuts. It's very prevalent in movies and TV shows and it bugs me every time.
Yeah.
Full on dirty sneakers on the clean bedding.
Nope.
She puts it under the covers. Girl, take off your shoes.
That's how you know it's a set, not in these people's home.
Yeah, it's to be time efficient.
Yeah. The only thing that I would have accepted is if she had leapt onto the bed, but you know the thing where like your knees and feet dangle off,
Yeah.
that kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
That's fine,
Yeah.
acceptable, but
Yeah.
not full under the sheets.
It just, Anyway, that drove me nuts. There's an appropriate time to have shoes on and off.
Because it takes you out.
It does. I get it. It's for timing, whatever. You don't have enough movie time to see a character like taking off their shoes. But then just have her barefoot. She's in her house.
Yeah.
Anyway, nitpicky, but
Girl,
Girl,
take off your shoes. Subsection C of inappropriate shoes.
I'm ready to move on.
All right, and that brings us to Fun Fab Fail.
She's a fab.
I went into it thinking to myself that I was going to give this a fun. I even left it feeling like maybe it gets its own special section of feels.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the tone is coming of age, not necessarily rom-com. But when you get down to brass tacks, I don't really have any notes. This is a good movie.
It's a really good movie. Of the 3 movies, it is my favorite. The second movie also feels somewhat rom-com-y. There's a lot of tropes. The third movie is solidly coming of age, which is why I think this one feels a lot more rom-com to me, even though tonally there is a lot more going on in terms of coming of age. But it's just a really well-made movie. It's very beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's very intentional. I love the relationship of Peter and Laura Jean slowly unfolding, where they talk to each other about things that are happening in their lives, about Peter's dad leaving, about Laura Jean's mum passing. We really see how they connect with each other.
I love a trauma bond. Let's go.
But it feels really natural because, as we've established, RJ doesn't have a lot of friends. Peter is super popular, but being popular oftentimes leads to having a lot of people in your circle, but perhaps not necessarily intimate, close, emotional relationships.
Yeah.
So it's just really nice to see them bond in that way.
It's so lovely. You can really see why they're well suited in those moments when they get to be quietly alone.
And you can see how they're influencing each other as well, for the better.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Really beautiful, heartfelt.
Delightful.
Yeah, I wouldn't have expected it going in, and yet there we are. It is a fab, and it is a sleeper fab. It got better the second time around.
And this is the third time I've watched this movie, and it still was really good. I still really enjoyed it. But it's not a movie that I think about much.
No, I never think of this when I think of rom-coms.
She really is a secret fab.
Just a feel-good movie.
Absolutely.
And so that brings us to our favorite moment.
Yes.
Give me the cheese, please.
Yay! Give me the cheese.
This one's a hard one. It's always hard when you have secret good movies.
This is what I'm going to talk about quite a bit with my cheese. A sleeper agent was really difficult.
What's the sleeper cheese? Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Tiramisu. Interesting.
Mascarpone. I was thinking about mascarpone.
You were?
Okay, I see you. I see you.
Okay.
All right.
What came before this? Sleepier, him? I think I might have gone last.
I don't remember.
Okay, I'm going. Tiramisu. So, as Jazz has already said, a key component of tiramisu is mascarpone. And I really struggled with this cheese because this movie is a sleeper fab. How do I find a sleeper cheese? Because forgetting about a cheese means that I can't remember which cheese to talk about, right? So it was very difficult to find what cheese am I sleeping on. And I think with tiramisu, I mean, Jazz, you obviously know because you know food, so you know mascarpone. But when people think of tiramisu, you're not necessarily thinking cheese, right?
No, of course not.
Thinking
it's a dessert.
It's a dessert. And unlike some other desserts, such as cheesecake, which has cheese in the name, tiramisu is tiramisu. Also, mascarpone, on its own, it's not something that you're really going to look for, right?
You don't use it for anything by itself.
Exactly. Nothing. You're not like, I feel like a teaspoon of mascarpone. Like, that's just not happening.
No.
You need the rest of the ingredients to the tiramisu, and that's why I think you sleep on it. Tiramisu is so beautiful when you cut that square and the biscuits are aligned and the layers. It's really pretty. It's aesthetic. When you make it and you add the little bit of dusting of cocoa powder on top, like it's very intentional. It's very delicate, the soaking of the biscuits in the coffee beforehand. Everything feels very intentional, but you need all the components to make it work. I don't think this movie works if it is not shot beautifully. It doesn't work if the soundtrack isn't adding to it so much. It doesn't work if the actors aren't being so sincere.
Yep.
I think we were also talking about, like, the two of them are kind of really behaving as teenagers with the immaturity and the angst that comes with it and the figuring it out and not getting it right and the complexities of growing up and all of that. So, yeah, that's why this movie is a tiramisu.
I also would like to point out that you gave our sleeper pick a boost of espresso, which I appreciate.
for an extra twist, I have a weird reaction to caffeine. So caffeine actually puts me to sleep.
You're one of those people.
I'm one of those people. I cannot metabolize caffeine.
Amazing.
I can't do it.
Then this is truly the most perfect pick that ever picked.
So funny. I didn't even realize. But yeah, so funny.
Okay, obsessed. How do I follow this up? I can't. I'm gonna leave.
Oh, no, don't say that. I want to hear.
It's a lot of the same things, honestly. I picked Harvati because I had to think to myself, what's a sleeper cheese?
Yeah.
I went online and I Googled cheeses for a cheese board.
Mhm.
And then in the semi-soft category, a bunch of the lists say Harvati. Harvati is a classic. And I don't ever think about it.
No, I never think about it.
Never. I never think about that damn cheese. And it's a good cheese. It's great for melting. It's semi-soft. It holds its shape at room temp.
It really is slept on.
Yep. And it's got a lightly sweet quality, which I felt was really important that it be A, semi-sweet, because this is an ooey gooey movie. And B, it be a sweeter cheese. This is not a sharp movie. This is not a tangy movie. This is not a movie that's like a blue in any way. This is a light, refreshing, easy bite. And I don't have a whole lot more to say than that other than that's why it's a sleeper in Harvati.
You're right. I never think of Harvati. Ever.
Never.
You achieved what I tried to do and I couldn't find cheese. Couldn't find a slept on cheese. So funny.
Well, everybody,
there you have
it. That was our discussion of To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Let us know your thoughts on the movie, any shenanigans we may have missed, or what cheese you think it is.
You can follow us on Instagram at shenanigansensuepod, or you can email us at shenanigansensuepod@gmail.com.
We hope you'll join us next time, and until then,
we don't have to talk about it, but it's not whatever.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so it's either you have to drink only water for the rest of your life, or whatever you want, but it has to have a little bit of pee in it. It's a tough one.
I'm gonna level with you for a second anyway. I don't drink calories that aren't alcohol, really.
Exactly. I want to eat my empty calories. Thank you very much.
I'm saving my calories for tiramisu.